This is Apple's new compact flagship, the iPhone 16 Pro. It's like the iPhone 16 Pro Max, but smaller. I'm Will for GSM Arena, and let's see what the iPhone 16 Pro is all about in our full review. Last year's iPhone Pro models weren't quite the same as each other. Besides the size difference, they also had different telephoto zoom cameras. This year though, Apple has upgraded the Pro model's telephoto, so the camera setup is just like the Pro Max's. Besides that, this year's upgrades include a larger screen, a new chipset, a new ultrawide cam, and a dedicated camera control button. Looks-wise though, the iPhone 16 Pro is practically identical to the previous model. You get the same camera arrangement, the flat back of Corning glass, and a flat titanium frame. The only difference is that the new model is slightly taller and heavier, but it's hardly noticeable. And the IP68 ingress protection is back. Again, it's rated for water submersion to a depth of 6 meters. The iPhone 16 Pro's display is a 6.3-inch LTPO OLED, protected by 3rd generation ceramic shield glass, and it has a 120Hz refresh rate. It's nice to have a larger screen this time around. It's 0.2 inches more than the previous model, with thinner bezels. It again has a sharp pixel density of 460 ppi, consistent across the iPhones. True Tone provides consistent looking colors in different situations, and there's support for HDR10 and Dolby Vision video here. The screen brightness is great, about the same as last year. We measured around 900 nits with the manual slider, and this was able to boost to over 1750 nits in auto mode when exposed to bright light. The screen's dynamic refresh rate behavior is something Apple calls ProMotion. It's able to dial down automatically from a smooth 120Hz to as low as 1 Hz when idling to save power. And then there's the dynamic island functionality, which turns the area around the screen cutout into a place for relevant info and shortcuts. This large cutout is for the front-facing camera and 3D TOF sensor. These enable Apple's secure Face ID for biometrics, as there's no fingerprint reader on the iPhones. The iPhone 16 Pro has a pair of stereo speakers with good loudness, just like last year. They have excellent audio quality too, with rich and deep output. The phone can come with 128, 256, or 512 gigs, or a terabyte of storage on board. Of course, that's not expandable through microSD card. The iPhone 16 Pro comes with Apple's latest iOS 18 pre-installed. It's quite familiar, but brings a handful of new features and personalization options. We'll be doing a deep dive into iOS 18, and we'll add a link to that video here when it's ready. And the iPhone 16 Pro will get at least 5 years of software support from Apple. Just as last year, there's a hardware action key. You can use it to open one of a few predefined actions, or you can set up some custom shortcuts of your own. And Apple is looking to provide a suite of AI-based features through Apple Intelligence. These include writing tools, summarizations, generating your own emojis, and advanced search through the gallery. Plus Siri is more advanced too. The thing is, these features will be released later on via a software update. And because of legal issues in the European Union concerning privacy, the fate of Apple Intelligence in that region is up in the air. The iPhone 16 Pro models use Apple's most powerful smartphone chip, the A18 Pro. It's meant to be an upgrade in both raw power and power efficiency over the A17 Pro within the previous model. In CPU benchmarks, it does score about 15% more than last year's iPhone 15 Pro. There's also between a 15 and 20% jump in graphics performance, depending on the specific test. It's an incremental improvement, but an improvement all the same, and the iPhone 16 Pro is one of the most powerful smartphones on the market, with more than enough power for heavy gaming and intensive tasks. The sustained performance is quite good too. Throughout our prolonged stress tests, the iPhone 16 Pro was able to maintain a high level of performance with minimal thermal throttling. The iPhone 16 Pro has a larger battery capacity than the 15 Pro at 3,582 mAh. The battery life is better and competitive for a compact flagship, with an active use score of 14 hours and 17 minutes in our tests. We saw meaningful improvements in our tests for web browsing and voice calls. When it comes to wired charging, the iPhone 16 Pro maxes out at around 30 watts of charging power. We were able to charge the phone from 0 to 58% in half an hour, and a full charge took an hour and 38 minutes. It's in the same ballpark as last year's model. There's also support for reverse wired charging and wireless charging too. And now the cameras, which are no longer inferior to the Pro Maxes. There's a 48 megapixel main camera and a 12 megapixel 5x telephoto zoom, plus a new ultrawide cam with a 48 megapixel sensor. Another fresh new feature is the hardware button for the cameras, called the camera control key. You can use the camera control to start the camera, and then when you lightly press on the key, the on-screen UI buttons disappear, and you'll control the camera only with the key. A double light press on the key opens a menu for various options, which you navigate by sliding. Then the selected option, like exposure, can be manipulated by sliding on the key. Clicking the key down takes a photo, and press and hold it to take a video. It's easy to accidentally touch this key when you're shooting normally, and it actually feels less precise to go through your options by sliding on the key than just using the touchscreen. Let's get into the camera quality. During the day, the main cam produces the same quality as last year, with plenty of sharpness and detail. The detail rendition isn't as natural as some other high-end camera-centric phones, but it's not bad. The color saturation is again relatively low-key, for a more natural look rather than a vibrant, eye-catching one. When shooting people though, the iPhone produces reasonably lively skin tones. 2x zoom from the main cam provides plenty of detail. The results are impressive for a digital zoom. In low light, photos from the main camera are excellent. Exposures are well balanced, with a priority given to highlight retention, but the shadows look good too. There's plenty of detail, and we have no complaints about the colors. Moving on to the telephoto camera. This camera is a proven performer in daylight, and it captures excellent 5x zoom shots with great detail. The overall look is well matched to the other cameras too. At 10x, you get additional digital zoom on top. The level of detail that the 16 Pro captures is okay, though the clarity isn't as much as some competitors at this zoom level. At night, the telephoto cam's photos are very good, with plenty of detail, and the dynamic range and colors are hard to fault. There is a fair bit of noise though. The ultrawide camera's daylight photos are similar in rendition and colors to the main camera, with a bit of extra grittiness. Since it has autofocus, the ultrawide can be used to take macro close-up shots. While it's not quite as nice as from a proper close-focusing telephoto, these are still pretty solid. At night, the ultrawide's photos aren't too impressive. Detail is on the soft side, and more difficult scenes can come out underexposed. Highlights are well preserved though. And now selfies. They're pretty great, as expected from an iPhone. We're getting very good detail and nicely tailored exposures. And the ability to focus close allows for some weird angles too. The iPhone 16 Pro can record 4K videos with all of its cameras, and this year you get upgraded microphones too. Plus, there's the new ability to shoot 4K slow-mo clips at 120 FPS with the main cam. Overall, videos taken during the day are excellent from all of the rear cameras. There's very good detail, rendered in a conservative way, and noise is nowhere to be seen. The color saturation is appealing, and the white balance is consistent between the cameras. The dynamic range is top-notch too. Video stabilization is supported for all cameras in all modes, and is excellent as always. And finally, the main camera's low light clips are among the best in the industry. Our one complaint is that at night you'll notice internal reflections from light sources pointing into the phone, and these show up as bright dots. So that's the iPhone 16 Pro. This year's model brings a bigger screen, better battery life, a more powerful chipset, and the camera shutter key. And not only that, Apple has upgraded the telephoto cam to the level of the Pro Max, so you get nearly the same experience as the top model, just in a smaller package. So if you're looking for a compact iPhone with all the bells and whistles, the iPhone 16 Pro is worth recommending. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're looking for alternatives, you can check out our reviews of the iPhone 15 Pro and the Google Pixel 9 Pro. Let us know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one.